Alright, in the ancient languages it was called Aether. Alright, if you actually understood Latin, that's from Old Latin, which can now never be translated unless you know how to translate Old Latin into New Latin. Now, Aether is translated to Skyfall, which means it's the metals from Earth's core that are pushed up from impacts. And this is just a couple of the different types you can find. Now we have this one, which is got gold and iron in it. Alright, so you can find these, usually pink granite cliffs. It's usually not that far from the bottom, and you can see it's got gold all through it. This is where the nanite gold comes from, is these ones. So you can see all the gold crystals in it. And this stuff isn't that rare if you know where to look for it. Right, you have these ones here, this has got a bit of oxidised iron, and you can tell by the colour of it's a bit oranger. And you can see all the metals all combined in it. This is from Earth's core. This has been pushed up from the last recent impacts that they keep hidden from the public. This too has a lot of gold in it as well, but it actually has a lot more other metals in it as well. It's not just the gold. Well, that one is pretty well just gold and iron. This one has a few other metals like silver. It's got a few other heavier minerals in it as well. So, and then we have these ones, which are even more rarer. But these ones literally have every metal in them. And you can actually see all the really tiny metal crystals all through it. This one's got high silver content in it. So you can see a lot of the silver sparkle in it more than the gold. So these are all the different types of core ore, ether, you can find. Humans are too ignorant to even understand now because they're trained to not think. Now I've shown you idiots how to find this stuff. Why aren't you listening? You can get kilos of gold and shit from them if you know how it works. All the gold, it's all the fine gold I've fucking collected. Look at it all. That's just in a day. You can see it. It's all gold powder. You know, look at all them. And these are still drying up the back. Look at all these. This is just in a day I've farmed all this. It's all really fine gold. You know, people don't get it. If you actually find this sort of cliffs, you find this mud underneath them and you just slow wash it. You can get megatons of minerals out of them. This is the heavy mud that's been pushed up from comet impacts or large celestial collisions. This stuff breaks down. This stuff, once it gets exposed to the air, it starts rusting. You can see this one's starting to rust. So eventually decompose, and then all the minerals are released. And this is like the mud that comes off. It's like this clayey, real hard, crumbly stuff. And once you break it all up and then wash it, all the minerals separate, and you can actually get heaps of heavy metals out of them. You know what I mean? Heaps. Gold, iron, sulfides. There's so much rare heavy metals in this stuff. It's ridiculous. And there's shitloads. There's whole mountains of this stuff if you know where to look. You idiots digging holes have got no fucking clue. Like literally, economics is trained. You're trained to be idiots. You got no fucking clue what geology really is. And it's apparent with how you mine. It just boggles the mind how stupid humans are now. Really boggles the mind. Like, how fucking primitive are you cunts now? It's ridiculous.